Oh, hello everybody, and welcome to a Throne of Eldraine draft, my first ever Throne of Eldraine draft. Thank you so much to Wizards of the Coast for giving me access to a free preview account for the early access event. I truly appreciate it, and if you want to help me out, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. If this video gets to 50 thumbs up, I'll post another Throne of Eldraine video tomorrow, so if you want to support the channel and get more content at the same time, hitting that thumbs up button is a great way to do so. Leave a comment in the comment section down below if you do have any questions. Subscribe to the channel to join our community here on YouTube, and click that bell so you don't miss any future videos. Without further ado, we're going to dive in. We're not going to be playing all these matches because I'm going to try and get 2 drafts in this 3-hour, 47-minute window. So we're probably going to play 2 matches, maybe 3 if the first 2 are quick. But without further ado, let's dive in. We are going to be going quite in depth here because this is my first draft, and it's probably going to be the first draft that you watch, or one of the first drafts you watch. So you're going to want to pay attention, learn all the stuff about the cards and stuff like that. So Linden, the Steadfast Queen. I think this card is good, but I don't think it's good enough to be worth forcing mono white to play it. So if you are in a deck that's looking to play 11 or 12 planes, you probably will take Linden a little bit higher, but pack one, pick one, she's not really where I want to be. That's kind of the power level of Linden, in my opinion. Spectre Streak, just a card you shouldn't really be taking. It's just not one you're ever going to want to be playing. It may be more of a constructed card. It's a sideboard card at best, and it, really isn't even that good as a sideboard card, so I would never take Spectre Streak, really. Slaying Fire is quite good. It's one of the best red uncommons, maybe the best red uncommon. I think second best after Circara the Bold, but Slaying Fire, dealing 3 to any target and then dealing 4 in the late game is quite good, and definitely a strong contender. I think I prefer Keeper of Fables at this point, though. This card strikes me as very good. 5 mana, and then when any of your creatures, including creatures that could potentially have flying, potentially creatures with evasion, whenever they deal combat damage, I draw a card. It's just such a powerful play. If you play it on turn 5 and immediately draw a card, it's just really hard to imagine losing that game. I think the only 2 defensible picks in this pack are Slaying Fire or Keeper of Fables, but I'll briefly run through the other cards. I think Bartered Cow is not really what white is trying to do. I think that the food payoffs are mostly in black and green, so you're better off leaving Bartered Cow on the sidelines unless you're potentially having some small pockets of synergy, like you maybe have one food payoff in your green deck, in your green-white deck, and so you need to play the Bartered Cow, but mostly I'd avoid it. Runaway Together is much better than it looks. Thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. Runaway Together is much better than it looks. The way it is going to end up working out is if you bounce an adventure creature, you get to play the adventure again. So, for example, Curious Pair, you can make the food token, and then you play Curious Pair, and then you run away together. Curious Pair, the little kid looked kind of like the kid in Curious Pair, and then you run away together. The kid, your creature that had the adventure, and then you can recast the adventure part, so you get a lot of value out of that. Also, there's a couple of auras that your opponent will put on your creatures, like Trapped in a Tower, for example, or the blue Claustrophobia effect, which taps down the creature. So those types of things make Runaway Together quite good as a blue common, but definitely not competing with Keeper of Fables. I think Festive Funeral is too clunky to be super good. You might play it sometimes, but overall it's not going to be a high pick or a high priority. Barge In is a pretty solid combat trick because your creatures, giving all of them trample, actually has decent applications late into the game. But I think overall you're not going to be taking it super early. And same with Blow Your House Down is mostly a sideboard card if your opponent has a bunch of walls or you're a really aggressive deck. Brimstone Trebuchet is better than it looks, especially because 1/3 is a relevant stat line because of how many 2/1s are in the format. But I still don't think it's a high pick. We already talked about Curious Pair. It's a decent card in the black-green food deck pretty much. Other than that, not great. Turn 2 Unveiled Treefolk is actually better than it looks. You might think that the 4-mana adventure is not very good, but 6 mana 6/5 is actually one of the biggest creatures in this format. There's not a ton of big stat lines running around, so 2 Unveiled Treefolk is better than it looks, but I'm not taking it here, obviously. Prophet's not great. Roving Keep's not great, so we're just going to take the Keeper of Fables. I think it's close with Slaying Fire, but Keeper of Fables it is. We'll see where it goes. Now, this pick, the rare is missing, so we don't really have a huge signal from that direction. There's Rally for the Throne, which is one that I'm not a super big fan of taking early. I do like that the human token is basically Belle from Beauty and the Beast. That's kind of what I think of when I see that one. But I think Rally for the Throne is the type of card that you're either going to run when you're in heavy white decks or when you really care about going wide. For example, if you get the uncommon in white that when it attacks gives your creatures +1/+1, is Sir something. But I don't think you'd really take it at this point in the draft. Similar with Venerable Knight. First of all, white-green isn't really a Knight's color combination. The Knights are in the Mardu colors pretty much. At least the Knight payoffs are. The black-red card uncommon, the red-white uncommon, and the black-white uncommon all care about Knights. But you can definitely play Knight sub-themes within your decks, but I think Venerable Knight is not really where I want to be going. I don't really want to jump into green-white. Right, at this point, Cauldron's Gift is another card I'm not a huge fan of. Generally, this type of effect has been bad. It's just getting back a creature only from your graveyard, especially like Raise Dead, being able to get your opponent's graveyard is actually quite relevant, but the fact that you're getting it only from your graveyard is not very good at all. This pack is really filled with clunkers. Youthful Knight is interesting because 2/1 First Strike is just like pretty good stats, but I don't really want to take it at this point in the draft. I think it's a bit too early still. Steel Graze Griffin, I do want to say that this card is worse than it looks in my opinion, because blue decks are often going to have inevitability just because there's a common that's blue. It's 4 and a blue, draw 3, and then potentially scry 3 if you have Adamant. So your blue deck doesn't really need to be beating down in the air. Your blue deck just needs to survive until it can deploy all of the cards it's getting from those extra card draw spells. And so Steel Gaze Griffin is not really a part of that type of plan. So I'm not really high on this card, even though on the surface it might seem okay. Lost Legion is just a solid C. It's not really a huge pickup for me. Malevolent Noble is similar boat to that. I think Reaper of Night is too slow for draft. So definitely don't want to take that here. It's okay in sealed though. Like it's a solid card in sealed. 7 Dwarves I might actually just take here. Wildwood Tracker is interesting. It just keeps me in green. I could still just be like a green blue deck or a green red deck. I think 7 Dwarves, speculating on it, is a bit better though. I'm not a huge fan of the Wildwood Tracker because you have to control another creature, which kind of makes it a little bit worse. Like if you're trying to curve out, you kind of have to go 1-drop, 2-drop for Wildwood Tracker to be really good. It's not really a 1-mana 2/2, I don't think. Even though this is non-human and maybe non-human tribal synergies. I think 7 Dwarves could be a good one to take early. Jousting Dummy's not really where I want to be. Not a huge fan of the Lochthwain Gargoyle. I think it's actually between these two. Even though they're the Venerable Knight. Maybe I'll just take Venerable Knight because it is probably the best card in the pack. And this taking a 7 Dwarf second pick is probably not great. This is a really interesting spot. I could just stick with green. I think I'm just going to take the Venerable Knight. It's too early to say I'm not going to be playing Knights. And a little bit of a reward there. That's actually a pretty solid uncommon, but I don't think we're taking it. This pack is stuffed full of goodies. First of all, we have Joust, which would be nice if I ended up going into a red-white Knights deck, but overall is not as powerful as the other commons we have and uncommons. Savvy Hunter is a fantastic uncommon, works really well in the black-green food deck, if you can get that going. There's another like white Knight, but I'm not going to be taking that here. Didn't Say Please is such a funny name for a counterspell, but it's definitely not the pick here. It's just not super powerful. It's an okay playable if you have a decent number of instants or your deck is pretty controlling and can stall the ground, but I don't think it's a high pickup. Ardenvale Paladin really is just mediocre. You have to be playing a lot of white sources to consistently trigger Adamant on turn 4, and a 4-mana 2/5 is not either aggressive. It's not really aggressive, which white decks oftentimes want to be doing, and it's not really a like a 3/6 is like a good attacker, but it's not like a fantastic attacker. You'd much rather have like a 5/4 or something. Beloved Princess I don't think is super playable unless you have like a really good equipment that you're going to put on it, because if you can give it like +2/+2, it's really hard for it to be blocked, but I don't think it's super good. Bake into a Pie is one of the best commons, and is probably just the pick out of this pack. It leaves me very flexible to either go black-green, or white-black, or really black anything. I think Fierce Witchstalker is either the best green common or the second best green common. I still think that the 4-mana fight spell that gives your creature a counter and potentially indestructible is also quite good. I say potentially because it gives it indestructible with Adamant. It's called... Dang, I'm not good on the names. I just know what all the cards do. But I think that's not good enough reason to stay green for Keeper of Fables. I think Bake into a Pie is just so powerful and leaves me avenues to go into black-green, which I could potentially be seeing open because of the Savvy Hunter, or into white-black, which I've been seeing a decent number of Knights. I think Fierce Witchstalker is definitely a good card, though. I just don't really like taking super high cards on my curve, and Bake into a Pie is pretty good. Though, to be fair, it is a very good card. I just think Bake into a Pie is better. And then I already talked about this card. Thrill of Possibility is really important for the blue-red draw 2 cards deck because it just lets you trigger your stuff on your opponent's turn, which is really good. The Spider's okay. Definitely good against the Reach, against the Plentiful Flyers. And then Wolf's Quarry actually performed really well for me in my sealed video. If you haven't seen the sealed video, I highly recommend that. It was a good time. But and there'll be a link in the description and stuff. But yeah, Wolf's Quarry performed really well in sealed, but I still think it's probably too slow for draft, or unless you have a very heavy food deck. So this is interesting. I could see Savvy Hunter, Bake into a Pie, or Fierce Witchstalker being correct here. I think the important part is I don't know whether I should like treat this as a big signal or not, because seeing this third pick might mean green's open, and then just hedging strongly into green could leave me a lot more options later on in the draft. Um, Bake into a pie is really good, though. I think we're just going to take the Witch Stalker. I've convinced my... Yeah, I really want to play this Keeper of Fables. It's such a good card. And a little bit rewarded here. This is a very strong white uncommon, and by taking the green card and staying flexible, we get to take Shepherd of the Flock here. I think it's better than pretty much all the commons, and yeah, we'll go over it. Pretty much the reason it's good is because not only do you get value against Trapped in a Tower and the Claustrophobia, but you also just like get a creature as a part of it, and also it triggers your adventure cards, so that's just pretty nice overall. There is a Joust in the pack, but I think we want to be a green combination with these two good green cards. Silver Flame Ritual does not impress me as a card. There's just not enough go-wide synergies, and one counter is not enough of a payoff. True Love Kiss is, I don't think, main deckable, but it's really close to being main deckable. Like, if someone main decked this against me, I wouldn't be, like, super angry, and I think it's fine. Corridor Monitor is actually really good in this set because there's a lot of 3/1s and there's a lot of 2/1s, and there's not, like, a ton of ways to ping them. So this card can actually really, really hold the ground for you well in your blue decks that want to be casting draw 3s. Moonlit Scavengers is like a bit expensive in my opinion for what it does, and also the fact that it's not always on is really not great, but it is an okay payoff for the white-blue artifacts and enchantments deck. We already talked about these. These are just really mediocre cards. I think Embereth Paladin is okay. Raging Redcap's really an equipment synergy card, but we're just going to take the Shepherd and see where it leads us. Could be a really good card. And now, this is interesting. So there's a Venerable Knight to get a second Knight here, but it's not really good unless you are a Knight's deck. And Silver Flame Squire is an adventure creature, which works really well with the adventures theme that is in white-green. The problem is my Keeper of Fables cares about non-humans, which is a theme in red-green, and pretty much, and the white cards are all human knights. I just don't think I'm going to get a ton of knights in my white-green deck, but Venerable Knight is still quite good. There's also Bog Naughty if I wanted to abandon these two cards to potentially move it towards black-green. But at this point, I think I'm just going to take the Silver Flame Squire. Though it is a human, it's not the card. This is tricky. I think the pick Bog Naughty is quite good, and I already have one food payoff in the Fierce Witch Stalker, and I could totally play Keeper of Fables in a black-green deck. It's just, I don't think Venerable Knight is going to be very good in my white-green deck necessarily. Because I'm not going to have all that many knights. And I don't know how many adventure payoffs there are going to be, but Silver Flame Squire is an interesting one for that. I think it's between Bog Naughty and Speculating or the Venerable Knight, and this is a pretty late Bog Naughty. I think I'm just going to take the Knight or the Silver Flame Squire, though. I think that this might just be one of those times where the card is really good and sealed, but it might be a bit of a slower draft format. Let's just take the 1-drop and take the cheaper card. It's just a fine default setting. And now we can get a Mana Leaf Rider, I'm actually a huge fan of this card. It works really well if you can get some foods going. If you can get Fierce Witch Stalker, like to get a food token, Mara Leaf Rider can, and you get, like, say you get 2 food tokens in play. Mara Leaf Rider can make it so both creatures your opponents have to block it, so then your other creatures can attack in uncontested. This is the third 7 dwarves we've seen, but I think we're just going to take the Mara Leaf Rider here. It is a Knight, which works well with Venerable Knight, so that's also quite good. The Bartered Cow. I think Gingerbread Cabin is quite good. Looks like we're going to be a heavy green deck potentially, though. We do have 2 white 1-drops, so we might be a more even split, in which case Gingerbread Cabin gets much worse. I think the Merfolk Secret Keeper is actually a decent card in this set, potentially, because as I've been talking about the blue decks, I think you can definitely build a blue control deck very easily just by getting a couple draw 3s as your win condition, and then you just play a couple of Merfolk Secret Keepers, and you've got so many cards, you have all the answers to what your opponent's doing, and you just mill them out. I think we're just going to take Gingerbread Cabin here, though. It's going to be a pretty solid card. I might be a heavy green deck. Even if I run like an 8/8 plus a Gingerbread Cabin, the times that it does make me a food token are going to be huge, especially with things like Mara Leaf Rider. I think Mystical Dispute's not really a main deckable card. Prophet of the Peak is not really a card I'm ever really interested in taking. I already talked about Bartered Cow, and I think that you only really want to play Wolf's Quarry in a black-green deck, so we're going to get the Gingerbread Cabin going. And now, we haven't talked about Gingerbrute. I don't think it's very good. There are people who like to play these 1-mana 1/1s with like pseudo evasion, but I really don't think it's ever going to be worth it. I think Rosethorn Halberd is interesting, but I do have all my cheap creatures pretty much as, I guess not all my cheap creatures, but a decent number of them are humans, so it does get a little bit worse in that case, but it could still be a decent card. Giant Skewer did a work against me in one match, but I think it's not a very good card. It's just too clunky. Tournament Ground seems like a pretty early pick because it could enable splashes or just really, even in a 2-color deck that's heavily Knights, it's still going to be pretty good. Spore Cap Spider is more of a defensive card. I don't really want it in my aggressive deck, so I think I'm just going to take the Rose Thorn Halberd and see how that works out. And now we do see Runaway Together Wheeling is interesting. Good thing to keep note of for future drafts. We are heavy green, so we could still move in any direction here. So we're going to take the Runaway Together in case we open a good blue card. And the Wildwood Tracker came back. This is a good sign here. Yeah, all these black cards. Witch's Cottage should not be coming back this late. It's quite good, but getting the Wildwood Tracker is nice. Wolf's Quarry. It's the Princess, which I don't really want. We're just going to take Joust. I don't think we're ever playing Wolf's Quarry. Maybe we do. We'll just take the Wolf's Quarry because we're not going to be playing red. It's weird to see the fact that Joust is coming around so late. Really odd. We'll take the Corridor Monitor in case we open the blue card, as we said. And now a Jousting Dummy. Just have another Knight to go with a Venerable Knight, and it's a non-human. Okay, let's see where we end up. We opened up a Dud Rare. This card's not very good. The problem is it's too slow to mill them out, but it's also you don't actually gain card advantage ever from it, so not a huge fan. I think Embereth Shieldbreaker is pretty good, but we're not going to be playing red in this draft. We're either playing, we'll just put these in for now. We're either playing blue-green or white-green, probably white-green, just because we already have some pretty nice aggressive stuff. We have 3 1-drops already for our deck, kind of, and don't really have any synergies with these blue cards. So I think we're probably playing white-green. Beanstalk Giant's a card that I do like. It does help you ramp, it helps you fix your mana, and it's just a big creature. I'm not sure how good it is in white-green specifically, but we'll have to see. It also is an adventure, so it could potentially trigger adventure synergies, which white-green does have. I like Rimrock Knight a decent amount, but I don't think we're going to be moving into red-green. Though we could potentially consider it. I mean, we only have like 3 white cards, and we picked them. I don't know whether that's actually there were any signals, because it's hard to tell this early in the format. I do like Tuinvale Treefolk a decent amount, but that one didn't wheel last time, so I don't think it'll wheel this time. I think I'm going to take the Beanstalk Giant, though, and then we hope to either, because I know I'm going to be playing green, and so this will help me figure out my second lane. So yeah, we'll just take this Beanstalk Giant. It's a very flexible pick, and then maybe we could have moved into red, but I think just getting the Beanstalk is going to be good. And a second pick, Glass Casket's actually pretty nice here. Nice removal spell, pretty flexible, and could be just a sign that white is where I'm supposed to be. I wouldn't mind playing an Insatiable Appetite. It's a decent combat trick. I think the Glass Casket is a decent amount better than the Gingerbread Cabin. Talking about the other cards in the pack, Inspiring Veteran is quite good. It's obviously quite good in your red-white decks, and I think it's like a card you'll take early and try to play red-white because of. Inquisitive Puppet is pretty bad in my opinion. Just, you never really want a 1/1 that gets like 1 chump block out of it. It's a really good flavor, though. I think Vantress Paladin's okay, but you really have to have like 10 or 11 islands. Basically, if with 10 islands, you have like 50% chance of having these things enabled on turn 4, which is way less than you might think. I think Barrow Witches is a really good common if you have some knights, but we're not going to be taking that here. Loch Thwain Paladin is decent, but again, you need to have like 11 swamps. There have been a lot of 7 dwarves. Maybe that's a deck you can just go for a lot. And then Roving Keep is like mediocre. Weapons Rack I think is pretty unplayable. We'll take the Glass Casket. Once in Future. So Turn into a Pumpkin is quite good, but we're probably not moving that direction. The Once in Future is also pretty nice, but it's more of a slow card because you can just return 2 cards from your graveyard to your hand. And we are a heavy green deck, so Once in Future could just be the pick here. There's the, what didn't we say please again? There's a Garenbrig Squire to go with our non-existent adventures. It's also a human that doesn't trigger with our Rose Thorn Halberd. There's a Rimrock Knight. There's a Redcap Raiders. Both of these cards are quite good. Redcap Raiders because if you're curving out, you're going to be playing your 4-drop and then triggering the Redcap Raiders by tapping. And Rimrock Knight just because it's a big, great aggressive creature. And then the adventure part is pretty good as well. I hope Jousting Dummy wheels because I think I'd play it with 2 Venerable Knights and also payoffs for not having knights, for not having humans. So that could be a good little synergy. I think I'm just going to take Once in Future, though. Pretty solid mid-range card. And now things get interesting. Actually, never mind. Outmuscle is the green common I was talking about when I was thinking about Fierce Witchstalker. I'm very happy with where I'm at here. I'm a very heavy green deck, which means I can commit to playing like a lot of forest for gingerbread cabins and things like that. Though having white 1-drops makes that a little trickier. This is the blue Dorothea I was talking about, Unexplained Vision. Just a very good card. Merchant of the Veil is a pretty good red common. Just does a lot of... It's really good in red-blue specifically, where you want to draw extra cards, and the haggle being at instant speed can be quite good. And then it's really good in just decks that end up going to the late game. The Fairy Guidemother is a pretty good card. I think it's underrated probably in my opinion as well, just because it doesn't look like much, like 1 mana 1/1 flyer with then a pretty decent ability, like spell you can cast in addition to it. I think this card's just quite good. I'm not sure I'm even playing white though, and definitely Outmuscle is the pick here. I think it's the best green common. I already talked about the rest of these cards, so. Oh, I guess the 5 mana 3/4 I didn't talk about, but that card's just medium. Someone called this card Shia LaBeouf, and I can't unsee that now, and now you guys can't either. It looks so striking once you notice it, or have it pointed out to you. But yeah, I think this card's actually quite good, because you can use the combat trick and then just have a like essentially free 4 mana 3/2, which is a decent sized creature. I think Outmuscle's the clear pick here though. I've already talked about the rest of these cards. I think Outflank is pretty bad. Like, I would be very unhappy to play this card, or relatively unhappy to play this card, just because it's so situationally terrible and really hard to figure out when it's going to be good. Outmuscle's great though. And now there is a Reeve Soul. That's a late Reeve Soul. There's also a Blood Haze Wolverine. There is a Fell the Pheasant, which I don't really want to play. There's another Rose Thorn Halberd, which I already don't really like the one I have. Reeve Soul's a really good card, and maybe I just take that. And then play mono black green splash, like a 1 card. I think this is better than taking another Rose Thorn or Blood Haze Wolverine, so let's just see what happens. And now there is Weaselback Redcap, which I think is quite nice. I don't love Ferocity of the Wild, especially in my deck where I have a ton of humans. I think Weaselback Redcap is decent. There's also a Wicked Guardian if I wanted to go into black-green. But I do have several 4-drops. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 4-drops already. But it does not kill a lot of my creatures when I play them, so I can get potential value later on in the game. It does kill all my early drops, though. Interesting thought. I could just take Wicked Guardian. I kind of just want to take the red cap and go for a red-green aggro deck. But I'm going to be heavy green, so playing cheaper cards in my non-main color is going to be tricky. So let's just take the Wicked Guardian. Ooh. Oh my gosh, what a pack. There's Jousting Dummy, which actually seems pretty decent in my deck. It does work with the Halberd and stuff like that, because this is not a human. There's the Garenbrig Carver, which I do like as well. There's Kenrith's Transformation, which is also quite powerful. Just you can enchant your own creature to make it bigger. You can enchant the opponent's creature to make it smaller, and just seems like quite good to me. I think we're just going to take that over the Garenbrig and the Jousting Dummy. I think the other Jousting Dummy is going to wheel. And now Turandale did come back, which is nice for me. And now another Gingerbread Cabin. Exciting stuff. The Jousting Dummy came back, but the Rose Thorn Halberd also came back. Let's just take the Jousting Dummy. And now the Rose Thorn over Guidemother. The thing is playing 1-drops is so hard in this deck, because I have 2 Outmuscles, which I kind of want to enable some portion of the time. I have 2 Gingerbread Cabins, and all my cards that are in white are super cheap / replaceable. I think I'm just going to take the Halberd. Yeah, let's just take the Halberd and then just get rid of our white cards. We could really play any colors here. Mono green. We could totally do it, folks. They said it was supposed to be a supported archetype. We have 18 green cards right now. I mean, oh my gosh, Thunderous Snapper is a great card, and it works in my mono green deck. Whenever you cast a spell with converted mana cost 5 or greater, we already have Beanstalk Giant and a Turandale Treefolk and Keeper Fable, so we already have 3 triggers for that. I don't think we're going to play the Wolf's Quarries. But yeah, this card's the clear pick out of this pack. Though Gadwick the Wizened is interesting. It is such a powerhouse. It just really ruins my mana. Like, having, like, basically being mono green is just so good. But Gadwick. What blue cards do I have? I have Corridor Monitor and Runaway Together. I have 1 1-drop, 3 2-drops. I'm just a very mid-rangey deck. Thunderous Snapper versus Gadwick. Man, this is like the tricky picks that you sign up for when you want to draft at the highest level. Or like draft like a tricky way where you like do difficult things or think about all your picks. We already talked about most of these cards. I think Skullknocker Ogre is way worse than it looks. I think the ability is actually a downside because your opponent will just hold their lands in hand in the late game, and then if they get hit, they get an improved hand, which is not good for you. Jeez, I think this card's terrible, and this card's terrible. Like, this card's never really going to work in combat the way you want it to, and this card's just too small. I think it's between this one and this one. Triple blue is just so hard. I'm only going to run 7 sources in my off color, if that, so we're just going to take the Snapper. And now there's another Kenriths or a Curious pair. We don't really have any food synergies, so I think I just want to take Kenriths. Turn my Wildwood Tracker into a 3/3. Seems okay to me. None of these cards. I've already talked about all these cards, pretty much. I think this card's better than it looks. There's Jousting Dummy that'll probably wheel. Yeah, let's just take Kenriths. And now there's another Merrileaf Rider. There's also a Savvy Hunter, but we're just going to be playing a more of a monocolored deck. There's also Scalding Cauldron, which is quite nice. Like, that's just a removal spell. I already have 2 out muscles, but Scalding Cauldron could just be the pick here. I really like Merrileaf Rider, though. Yeah, I kind of just want to take the Merrileaf Rider. It's so good, in my opinion. I like Scorching Dragonfire. I think it's the best red common. But when you're this committed, and you have 2 Gingerbread Cabins as payoffs, and a Thunderous Snapper as a payoff, I think going into a second color at this point is a mistake, and I think it's clearly either Merrileaf Rider or Scalding Cauldron. Yeah. I'm just going to take the Rider. I really like having good 2-drop creatures. And now Rosethorn Acolyte, a nice little ramp payoff, and also just, yeah, a nice little ramp to get up to my more expensive cards. Yeah, even though Foulmire Knight is a fantastic card. I've seen a lot of Curious pairs, but I don't really think that's a good fit for my deck. I think it's more of a black-green food card, and you really only want it in that deck. And now we can take another Rosethorn Halberd, or we could just take, I don't think we're ever playing 3 Wolf's Quarry. We could also just take Glass Casket and then sideboard in 2 Glass Caskets in certain matchups, which seems good to me. I don't think we're ever playing 3 Rosethorns. And now we'll just take the white cards, I guess. Whew, that could be good. Giant Opportunity. How many Food Makers do we have? We have 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're never going to get that to go. There's the Reef Soul. There's a second Reef Soul. There's a Fling. There's Prophet of the Peak. It's just an expensive card. We have 1, 2, kind of 3 expensive cards, and we have 2 pieces of ramp. So we could definitely do with another expensive piece of expensive card. So let's just take the Prophet of the Peak. It makes a pathetic meowing sound. That's hilarious. Let's just take the Rosethorn now. I'm feeling really good about this pick, actually. And now we'll just take 7 Dwarves, I guess. Wow, we just got 2 7 Dwarves in a row. Unless I run the little pigs. Yeah, I'm not planning on that part. What's my creature count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it's decent. I might have to splash into my second color. I think I actually do. Rough. Okay, let's see. Because, yeah, I'm going to have to splash into white or black. Or just play the Wolf's Quarry. Yeah. Any spell with 3 or more. Let's just play these so we can stay mono green, I think. I think we're actually going to play 18 lands, so we don't have to play the second Wolf's Quarry. Oops, wrong way. Let's just think about this. How does this look? Main decking a Fell the Pheasant is not the end of the world. Okay. I like running 18 here. Yeah, there's some decent white cards. Maybe I like Glass Casket. I have 2 Rosethorns to help splash it. But being able to cast this on turn 4 every time is so important. I could maybe splash it off of one. No, I couldn't do it. I have the Beanstalk to get my one white source potentially. I think mono green is just going to be good enough. At least it's an experiment that could be cool. So, we're going to be mono green. This is a pretty simple deck to build, so we'll just dive right into the matches. Hello, and welcome to round 1 with our mono green deck. We're going to keep this hand. It's sketchy, but we have 3 spells, 4 lands. It's really hard to mulligan those ones. Definitely not going to play this. That's really bad for me. This card is really good. I'm not liking my odds right now. I will say these 3 draws have not been what I was looking for. Midnight clock. Oh my gosh, I'm so screwed. Oh no. Well, we have not drawn particularly well, so hopefully things turn around for us. Please don't kill this. I beg of you. It's all I have. Oh my gosh. He could have cast it with this anyway, but it's so sad. Okay, Keeper of Fables. You know what you have to do. You just don't have to eat a Searing Barrage. Our curve was really bad here. Oh no. Oh no 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 no. That is bad. Knowing where we ended up, I wish I had one of those 1/5 spiders. Oh, this is going to be okay. I think I might want to draw a card first. No, I'm just going to outmuscle. We're not actually going to Rosethorn Halberd because if we draw a 2-drop, we really want to play it. Block me. Make my day. Max punished. Oh, man. This castle's going to wreck me. 2, 4, 7. I go to 5. Or they can activate this thing. Yeah. I need to make some foods to help me race. Let's just attack here. Draw our card. See what happens. Fierce Witchstalker. That's a good one. Please don't counter it. I did say please. I literally said please don't counter it. What more do you want from me? But don't say please. Three, 4, 5. Yeah, we're dead. Okay. On to game 2. So if we had a disenchant effect, we would bring it in. I think we would have been in fine shape there. Yeah, I think we're just going to run it back. I don't think we really need to side into our white cards. We just had an abysmal draw. We had to keep our 4-land, 3-spell hand or something, and then just drew 2 lands or something. I should have said or something twice, but I think this is going to work out fine. We'll keep this one. Oh, it's because I forgot to change my card back. Of course. It's the only possible explanation. I think I should run 1 less land. One thing when you're a monocolored deck is you don't need to have as many lands because you're never going to get color screwed. So I think I should run 1 less land, and that will help. Probably run another Piglets or something. Don't do it to me. Okay, that's fine. That's an instant, buddy. We're just going to cast it. If they want to use their Scalding Cauldron to kill it, we're fine with that. But if they save the Scalding Cauldron, then we can outmuscle whatever they do play. My opponent looks like they're holding up a counterspell here. So we're just going to pass the turn and make them use Scalding Cauldron. And they kind of are potentially afraid to because we could have a combat trick. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Enter full control mode to be sneaky. Another like, can I play Merchant of the Veil? Can I not? What has to happen? I mean, they have to have a counterspell, right? So we play this for sure. The question is, do we Kenriths? I think we want to make it an Elk. It can't tap to cast this thing anymore. But it is slightly bigger and we get to cycle through our deck. Nice. I'm actually pretty... I think this card's a pretty decent one. Prophet of the Peak. This game is playing out very differently to the last one. Our opponent's deck seems very good. Ouch. So they're holding up their cancel. Let's bait it out. If they cancel my 2 Jousting Dummy, I'm fine with that. Cancel this, mate. Yep. I'm fine with that exchange. They were going to cancel something. Now I get to resolve my profit, hopefully. Or an out muscle. Okay. This is going to work out nicely. Perfect. Holy heck. This upcoming turn, I think we would rather Keeper. So we'll keep Keeper on top, but then killing the flyer seems really good. Because I know my opponent has a decent amount of flyers. I think we're in good shape this game. He's attacking? Okay. And this way, if I do get through with a creature, I can immediately draw my... This costs 3 to activate, so I cannot attack with it. If they double block here, then it means I draw a card from this thing hitting them. Yeah, putting this on top was definitely correct. Now we'll just kill this thing. We're doing it now so they can't run away together or something. We want to outmuscle onto this thing so it can't be killed by Scalding Cauldron. We're going to equip to this thing because then if they use Scalding Cauldron... Oh, it's +2/+1. I thought it was +1/+2 this entire time. Sorry about that, folks. One can only hope they don't have Opt. Okay. So I can just double pump this to put them to 1, or I can just wait and see what I draw. I have 7 lands there. I have 2 lands in my graveyard. So I have 9 lands left of my 20 cards. So I'm about 50% to draw land. In which case I think that I'm over 50% to draw a spell here that I'd want to cast. So let's just go to damage. Punished. Brutal. I think that in theory that was a good play. because we're slightly more likely to we want to get our spells into play. Okay. That's game. We got them. Yeah, the halberd is pretty good, I think. I made sure to not really have any humans in my deck. I don't know how many green humans there are. I guess the Garenbrig carvers that I never took. Okay, we've evened the score up at 1-1. We're going to bring in Wolf's Quarry for a land. And run it like that. Now that I know that the halberd gives +2/+1, I'm much more likely to want to run my tokens. Because 3/2 is much better than a 2/3, I think, at that point in the game. Because they're actually kind of real threats that they have to be dealt with. Oh, man. Let's go. Can Deathstrike defeat us? Game 3. It's all on the line. This is basically the most important match. Actually, not really, but opponent's probably super impressed that we're mono green. We don't even have the 5-drop for mono green. It would have been so good. We just have 2 out muscles, incredible mana consistency. 2 of the house that makes food. It's the house that makes food. Okay. Let's go. You're nervous and sweaty. Mom's spaghetti. He's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop green cards. But he keeps on forgetting. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Ho, ho, ho. Opponent is not ready for the aggro. The aggro curve out into our land. Oh, you do me dirty, opponent. We need 1 more forest. We can even use this thing to be pretty good. Oh, man. So it can't attack for a while. We're going to get this into play first. They have a counter up. They're holding up their counter very clearly. Like when they have an adventure, when you have an adventure card in exile. Wow, I have my Keeper of Fables, that's great. Oh, I guess this is a really good payoff for mono green too. I'm just going to put 2 counters on. Honestly, I really want to make sure this thing doesn't get countered on the first half. And this being a 4/3 is really kind of big because its block gets through the merchant now. And if I draw a land, I can just play Keeper. Yeah, and it also gets through that thing, kind of. I'm not going to attack. This thing's just, never mind. I should have attacked. I forgot that they could only have really one card that stops it. I forgot that it wasn't their turn. I can't really block it, but I can attack into it. So yeah, I should have attacked them down to 14. They're not holding up a counterspell anymore. Give me a land deck. The Wolf's Quarry is the land that I took out. Feels bad, man. Oh, I guess right. They can just play that. Duh. Merrileaf Rider could be quite good. They have a counterspell in their hand. You can tell. There's a land. Hold full control. Doesn't really matter. Thank you so much. Ah, well, I went wrong one. For RCH for the follow. I really appreciate it. Sure. We put 2 on the bottom. Okay. Seems good to me. Huh. So I think I'm going to trade Keeper of Fables for their counterspell so I can hit them for 4. Like, I know they have the counterspell, but I can once in future my guy back. And this way I get to hit them for another 4. And it also fuels my graveyard for once in future. So now I get to get back out muscle. And they can't even cast the draw 2 thing if they had it. Weird jump block. Maybe there was a misclick. We're not going to do anything too complicated. We're just going to play our Tree Folk. Because this presents lethal on board. How is it possible I have just 9 viewers? By far the most chilled YouTuber. Greetings in Germany for RCH. I am so glad you are enjoying it. I'm crushing them. I mean, I wasn't crushing them for this whole game. It's just been really close. I think casting my keeper into their counterspell was an important part of this game. They held up their counterspell too much. IMO. We're just going to make 3 guys. Add the most power to the board. Unfortunate. Get big. This pig has come to battle. Boom! I should have Beanstalk Giant first. I forgot the land came in untapped. I realize this now. But this pig, too good. Too good. Good game, opponent. That was a good match. Boom! When we get the W with mono green. Oh my gosh, what a fantastic match. And I hope you stay with me for the next one. Hello and welcome to round 2. Sad day, but I forgot to change my card back and I forgot to cut a land for another Wolf's Quarry, but it looks like it's going to work out because this hand wants to draw lands. Keeper of Fables is such a house. Oh my goodness, this card is unreal. Just absolutely disgusting. Oh, opponent, it's almost as if you're trying to play a green deck. Black-green food, potentially. Seems like a good archetype when it comes together. I hope they don't play the 3-mana 3/3. Hello, opponent. Oh, yes. Your gingerbread cabin comes in untapped. What a feeling. Oh my gosh. Outmuscle is so good with Maraleaf Rider. I just realized that. Oh my god, what a combo. Because it's indestructible. If you're wondering why I did this, it's because my opponent has 2 mana up, and there are combat tricks that would stop me from killing this, and I really have to kill this before the keeper comes down. Yeah, exactly. But it's indestructible now, and because of this, now when I sacrifice this food to make this thing have to block, it'll actually kill it. So I end up ahead on this exchange. Because this thing has to block now. That's what the cool combo with... That's why I cast this instead. Because there's not a 2-mana... Thank you. Thank you, Jeno Feats. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's a uncommon. It's unbelievable. Basically, they can't have a kill spell for that mana. But they can have a super obnoxious... We're just going to play this first. We'll trade these off. Make it a little bit harder for them to find adequate double blocks for this guy. Phooey. At least I got that guy kind of on lock. And if he he has to attack with this. I'm just gonna That's a big attack. We're just gonna shrink that thing down, take 7. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. I'm gonna equip it to the keeper. Hit my opponent for 6. Draw a card. Okay, so I have an out muscle. I have 5, 6, 7. I'm going to have 8 mana next turn, so next turn I can double out muscle. That seems fantastic. So I'll get back out muscle in Wolf's Quarry. Or Marrowleaf Rider, okay. And this turn I'll sack a food to gain some life. I think we got this. Okay, perfect. So I get back out muscle and Wolf's Quarry. I'll gain 3 life just because I have the mana right now. Fight this. Fight that. Hit them to 3. And then any of these guys plus this thing is lethal. And they kind of have to chump this every turn, or they have to kill it. I'll take 4, okay, if you insist. They got a kind of cool combo by getting extra counters onto it. In this case, I don't think I'm going to chump block. I'm just going to sack a food to keep my life total healthy. Thank you, 4-Arch. Boom! We got the win. We're going to make the change again where we cut a land for another of our pig maker. Our mono green deck is working out so much better than I thought it would. Well, our opponent's using a new pet. I didn't see that pet option. Wolf's Quarry for land. We have a decent amount of ramp, so I think that's just correct for the main deck configuration, but I, as I said, forgot to do it. Or I remembered to do it, but I remembered too late. Okay, perfect. My lighting's okay. Oh, man. This deck is awesome. I'm loving Throne of Eldraine so far, folks. It's truly epic. Anubis. Anubis, like the god of the dead. No, he's not the god of the dead. He is... Osiris is the god of the dead. Anubis... I'm talking about Egyptian mythology, of course. I'm sure you intellectuals all know these things. Anubis was the one that had the jackal head. Osiris had... like a... I know that... Horus was the one with the hawk head. Which one head did Osiris have? I know Anubis had a jackal. Dang. But Anubis was the one that shepherded them to the underworld. Or maybe their name is just Anubis. Or maybe they want a new bus. Like a new... Maybe they drive buses or something. Huh. They're taking a while to sideboard. My mono green deck doesn't really have a sideboard because I kind of just added every green card I had at the end because I was like, oh, oops. I'm short playables slightly. Oh, man. Okay. We're loading up. We're starting to hit our rhythm. The pigs have been surprisingly good. I need to maybe test out this new pet option. I like the way it looks. Okie doke. Seems like a decent hand. We have our unbelievable uncommon. We need to change our elemental cat to be green to support us. Our opponent's on a mulligan. We are jousting. This is a jousting dummy. If they play Savvy Hunter, I'm going to turn it into an elk. I consider turning their guy into a 3-3 to stop them ramping at all. But I think making this guy a 3-3 is pretty nice. It's like a decent improvement on his stats. Now I regret it because they're missing land drops. This turn is really interesting because it's one of those turns where the best play is the unintuitive play. They have Garenbrig Carpenter. Gosh darn it, I'm dumb. Whoops. Thank you, Quiver. I appreciate it. Yeah. I realized that right after I did this. The previous correct play is no longer the correct play. I should have not attacked. That would have been better. I knew they had multiple Garenbrig Carpenters, so I messed that up. I was not paying attention. Yeah. Because before it was correct to play... Oh, shoot. I think we seriously messed this game up. Well, I've choked this game incredibly hard. I can't believe they're playing this in their two-color deck. We hath messed up. We're just going to take the 5 for 1 and block our Keeper of Fables here. Then I'll have to draw like Beanstalk Giant. If they just have a combat trick, we're just going to concede. But yeah, even now we're in really... Oh, they didn't have enough power to kill this thing. Perfect. No guts, no glory, as I always say. For some reason, I thought this had the ability to kill both of mine. I guess I wasn't factoring in the counter. This is the type of game where it looks like it would be okay to concede, but you don't really ever concede this type of game because you can just draw your Thunderous Snapper into some massive creature or something like that. Or my opponent just never hits their 5th land and they end up in rough shape. Come on, expensive card. Give me piglets. 3 little piggies right off the top. It's funny, the knight in this picture looks like the knight from... We'll make this trade. 3-1 for 4-2 is pretty good. As is 4-2 for 2-3. This Oathsworn Knight, them pinging it to draw a card, seems kind of sketchy. The card I really want to draw is the one that brings back 2 cards to my graveyard, because then I can get this and this back. I think I messed this game up first when I... Yeah, pretty much all that one turn where I attacked in kind of screwed up the whole game for me. I think it was a bad attack too, like objectively speaking. It's one of those things where I realized the Garenbrig card were too late. In paper, I tend to write this type of thing down, like whenever I see a combat trick, especially at a big tournament. Maybe I should have just taken the 3 damage. I think this card is really bad. It's so little stats for the cost. If he equips here, he's so screwed. Oh my gosh, what the heck? He doesn't get the food now. I need to be careful of this life gain that I don't forget about it, but if I draw a threat here, like even the 3 little pigs. Come on, 3 little pigs. Heck yes, the 3 little pigs to the rescue. Like, they go to a low life total here. And, like, they have a very inefficient card here, so if they play that, they want to gain some life, maybe. But keep in mind, I have this Marrowleaf Rider trick, so they won't be able to block any of my other creatures. Sure. Oh my gosh. We got there. We actually literally pulled off our combo because now we just have to chump with this. So, for example, if we did this now, we could make it so this had to block here and then this would block here. They're still dead on board. So, like, they hit us for 4. We go down to 8. Next turn, we untap. We make it so that this giant has to block the Mare Leaf Rider. Then they block here. This tramples over for 1. Yeah, that's just simpler. Let's just do that. Yeah. Heck yes. Heck yes. This game was looking grim, but that's why you never concede, folks. Never surrender. Because look at this. We got 5 for 1 with our own Keeper of Fables. But then the 3 little pigs came right off the top of the deck to get the W. Exciting stuff. I hope you enjoyed it. And we're going to play one more round with this deck, I think. And I hope you stay with me for that one. Won the die roll we would like to play first. And we are keeping this hand. We have to change our elemental cat to green. And we have to make a fox. The halberd. We're going to go all in on one of our jousting dummies, and it's going to be great. It's going to be a massive jousting dummy that has 2 counters. Biggest jousting dummy of all time. Let's go. Okay. Hopefully they trade. Dang it. Ah, mono black versus mono green. The ultimate contest. So I think we just use this one this turn. Make this guy into a 6/4. Though we could, yeah, make this into 6/4 seems good. Charge! And then next turn we can make it even bigger by using Kenriths on it. And also threaten and pump with both of these so they can both attack. That's why I did that this way, because you want to use all your mana. So we spend 4 mana this turn, and the next turn we can spend the full 5, even if we draw nothing relevant. Okay. Oh, we are 100% using this. And the next turn, if we draw a land, we can play this. If we don't, we can play our full mana. We've used our mana every turn of the game except turn 1. Our opponent has 2, but beggars can't be choosers. Mono green versus mono black. Let's go. Okay, they drain me for 1. Okay, so they're black-green. Interesting. We'll have these ones fight. Because if we do it the other... I guess it's indestructible now, but if we do it the other way... opponent could... Yeah, they're going to gain life, I figured. We're going to block here, and then this is lethal threat, this is lethal threat. Savvy Hunter, sure. That was a good draw. They'll have to chump. Then this thing is also a must chump. They just didn't even try. They just didn't block. That was actually hilarious. I was just like, wait, what? And I win. Lol. Agreed. Okay. Did we forget to... Oh my gosh, we forgot to make our change. Customary removing of the land. Adding of the 3 little pigs. Man, that's actually hilarious. I can't believe I forgot to do all these changes again. Man, this new stream setup I have is so sick. Because now that I have, like, yeah, this is a good spot to stream. I like it. And my internet is super fast here. It's like really fast. Like my upload speeds are faster than I've ever had them. So I get to stream at a higher quality level. So I'm going to be streaming way more often here, I think. So, good news for everyone that likes streams. And for myself, of course, because I enjoy streaming. Zaguyon. This is the potentially final game. Actually, yeah. Because what time is it? The drafting is only available for 4 hours, I think, and it's been out for almost 2. So yeah, this is our last game against our opponent. They are black-green. This is a mulligan. We should have sided this card out probably. Okay, there's a really good hand. Oh my gosh, this is a fantastic hand. We're gonna get rid of our Wolf's Quarry. One drop into 2 drop. On the play, this hand would have been really hard to beat. This card's also can become Kenrith up if we need it to. Oh gosh, opponent. Many sad times. They missed their second land. That's rough. The reason we played it this way is because if we draw a land, we can Beanstalk Giant ramp into Kenriths. And opponent scoops it up. That is going to do it for the match and for the draft video. We're gonna exit so that we can draft again. If you oh, never mind. The event's longer than I thought. We get to play one more round, or maybe even finish off the draft depending if we win that round. Well, because they made it longer this time. They made it 5 hours instead of 4. Well, I guess I'll see you for the next round then. 4th round. It is Destiny that we are facing Lord Tupperware himself. We are on the draw here. We will keep this hand. He's someone that I interact with very, very consistently. So, of course, he's playing a black deck. I assume he's playing black-green because that's just Lord Tupperware's style. But yeah, that's actually hilarious. Always fun to play against a friend. Ooh, blue-black. Interesting. Interesting. Got my little ramp combo with my Thunderous Snapper. I would really like to draw a 2-drop right here. Tough scry decision, I guess. This is one of those matches where you're just like, I really want to win. I really want to win. It's always fun to be... Oh no, scry to the top, both of them. Well, that's not good. He's probably now. This is when he figures out that I'm playing mono green. He's like, "Oh gosh, he got a forest." Oh yes, I did get a forest, Tups. You better be scared. You better be scared. Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. Okay, okay. If he plays this card, I can kill it with my Fell the Pheasant. I'm actually planning on like out-muscling this Witching Well. Man, all of the scrying. Oh my gosh, 2 to the top again? This is a big boy. I want to draw some land so I can cast this. I want to draw a land so I can cast Wolf's Quarry. And draw a card. What kill spells are there in this? Oh, he could bake it into a pie. We're not going to give him the option. We'll make him jump this turn, probably. Oh, he didn't jump. That's good for me. Because Merrily Friday could potentially finish the job then. Da-da-dee, da-da-doo. He did get mana screwed this game. Okay. Pretty solid. And that's game. Boom! Game 1 goes to me. Let's go. Come on, Tups, what you got? He's playing blue-black. He's got some flyers. Man, this is the dream. Mono green dreams. Okay. We don't have any sideboard. We're just running it right back. Come on, deck. You can beat him. I believe. I believe. I believe I can fly. I'll bet you guys Lord Tupperware is streaming right now. So if you want to check out his stream and like watch both sides, as long as you don't tell me anything about what's going on in his hand, that's actually a really cool way to see things from both people's perspective. He's probably sideboarding, and I'm like, I don't even have a sideboard. Who needs sideboards? That Fierce Witchstalker was a sick draw. I'm not gonna lie. Sick rip off the old top. But I kind of wanted land the turn before, and I didn't get it, so what are you gonna do? Man, our deck is awesome. I'm glad we decided to keep playing with it, like, or we would not have faced against Tups. Old Tups. Okay, Tupperware, what do you got? What have you got? I always seem to play against Lord Tupperware. I've played against him like many times. It's actually kind of sick. Okay. This is a sketchy hand. We're going to keep it on the draw, though. Kenrith's is not ideal. Kenrith's plus Outmuscle could stop the Cauldron, maybe. Also, Kenrith seeing my wolves is okay. And we might just have to Kazmina's... I mean, not Kenrith. We might have to Kenrith his stuff. Oh, he's going to animate it. Oh, gosh. It's not good. We need a creature. Come on, creature. Yes. Jousting dummy. You're my hero. Oh my gosh. That's sick. The sickest of values. We're going to outmuscle, and then we're going to outmuscle this thing. And then we're going to have to just race the fairy. I'm so scared. So what could he have that he wouldn't want to cast this? He could just have a counterspell. He could also just bounce my guy. I have to go for this, I think, though. Yeah, I figured he had turned into a pumpkin. Dang it. I knew he had it. I'm so sad. I had to do that, though. This next turn, though, I can kill the Scalding Cauldron. So that's something. Oh my gosh. Well, that's really bad for me. Okay. Change of plan. We're just going to accept the fact that we're completely screwed. Our hand was definitely sketchy, and then it did not get there in terms of our draws. It's all coming down to game 3. Presumably. Oh yeah, we're dead. Yeah, so he has run away together. That's good to know about. Gosh darn animating fairy. Okay. Okay, Tups, I see you. I see you. I wish I had turned into a pumpkin right about now. Not turned into a pumpkin. The one that... Okay. Let's go. I think siding into my white cards is just a little too cute. Okay. Okay, we're back on the play. We can have really good starts. Let's do it. We'll keep it. Oops. I didn't mean to say nice right after he mulliganed. I was trying to talk about my own hand. Kenrith transformation has been very mediocre. I like it with Jousting Dummy, though. And without muscle. Maybe I should have just Kenrith plus Outmuscle. If he uses Scalding Cauldron here, it's not the worst for me, but it's not the best either. I hope he animates it. Just animate it, Tups. You know you want to. Sure. Outmuscle is a really good draw. Ride like the wind, Bullseye. Actually, this is just an elk now. It's not a rider at all. We don't have to use an Outmuscle here. I'd rather get my massive Thundering Snapper into play. The guy that was a 9-7 game 1. Like, he still has to just tap out to deal with my threats pretty much. Okay, that's really good for me. We're going to make this guy into the 4-2. Because then either of our creatures is lethal with the Rosethorn Halberd. He scryed one to the top, eh? Okay, him tapping mana is really good. And we got there against Tups! Oh my gosh, what a game, and I will see you guys in the final round. I hope you stay with me. To the finals, we are on the draw, and we're keeping this hand, because I believe in us drawing a land, and I know you do too. Okay, that was not the land I expected. But I know we're going to get it this next draw step. I'm feeling it. Oh god. I kind of want to just put this on their guy, but at the same time, I don't think that's very good. Sofarin the Hengehammer. Come on, land. I believe. Gosh darn it. Now I have to do it. Oh dear. Oh dearie me. Oh dearie me. Oh yeah, we're getting curved out on and we can't play a spell. That's a recipe for success right here. Yeah, we could not hit a land. Well, at least if we lose it'll be a quick loss and nothing I could have done about it, so that's fun. Heavy green deck, kind of aggro-ish. We've learned valuable knowledge. Also MTGA crashing. Okay, I didn't know if I had left the tab open. Okay. Okay, we'll play first. This is not a great hand. Kenrith's transformation has been so bad. I thought this card was so much better than it was, and it has been very medium to bad. It's kind of cute if I had a human to turn it into a non-human, but it's still terrible. I think the card is just actively bad at this point, and I haven't even played that much of the set. I'm just gonna ramp myself a little bit. Give myself more options for next turn. Because next turn I can go Jousting Dummy into Kenrith, into Halberd, and build a pretty big creature. Or if I draw like Keeper of Fables, I can just cast it. Next turn I'll get the 3 little pigs down, and then I'll have my Beanstalk Giant. Actually, I'm going to play Prophet of the Peak, so I can scry away any lands I'm going to draw. Oh yeah, I don't want to draw lands. Even though I could cast Beanstalk, I'd rather just cast Wolf's Quarry next turn, and then draw lands naturally. Scrying away 2 lands is basically drawing 2 cards from me here, because I don't have any good mana sinks. He's holding up like a kill spell, so we're just going to play our Wolf's Quarry and pass back. Because I want to get hit in with Keeper of Fables. Because I considered it. Okay, they just did nothing. They had 6 mana and they did nothing on their turn. Strikes me as a little odd. Okay. They're holding up bacon to a pie. I should have done the Swordmaster first. That was bad. There's a +3/+3 in the set. I think they're holding up bacon to a pie. So now I can't block this, but I don't really want to. I want to bait them into attacking, and then I can attack them back, or play my Beanstalk. Oh, they no longer have bacon to a pie mana. That's fine by me. I think I'm going to turn this into a 3/3 so I can just chump it forever. Even though it'll be a 4/4, it just loses its ability. I should have held back one of the little guys. That I should have. I think he has bacon to a pie, so he'll hit me for 6. I should have just held back one of the pigs. What a silly mistake. There's no way it's correct to block here. I'm just going to try and kill whatever they play here. They just played that to draw. Okay. If they kill the pig, I get a food. If they don't kill the pig, I kill their guy. That's why I chose such a low priority guy. Okay. Well, that's a fantastic rip. If they don't attack me, I can clear both their guys by giving this +2/+2. I also have this massive guy in the wings. And I have an equipment. I'm definitely going to just probably gain the life here. Actually, you know, let's just go for the glory here. I should have equipped this to the keeper. Turning food into cards, that's this combo. This Merrily Frieder is so much better than people think it is. It's like a very good card. Actually, equipping would have been bad. We want to see what we draw. What are they getting back? Oh, the Garenberg. Oh, that's too slow, mate. I get to make a 10-10 or something absurd. And now I know what you're drawing. It's sad because I can't even really... I think I'm going to side out Fell the Pheasant for a land or something. Boom. Let's go. Game 3. The game is definitely glitching out a tad. As to be expected. Okay. Add land, cut Fell the Pheasant. And let's go. Final game, hopefully. Honestly, the Three Little Pigs card has been like impressive as well. If I had to have two big takeaways from this draft, it's that Merrileaf Rider has been a house. We have to look at that one. The 6 lands. Heck no. Okay, we're keeping this. Gonna get rid of that one. We just need to draw some lands. Come on, land. Yes. I'm going to give it a second to catch up. Yes, no 2-drop. And I drew a 2-drop. Let's go. This plus Rosethorn can do some work. I think I'm just going to play Rosethorn Acolyte this turn unless I draw a land. Since I did draw a land. I still think this is better. They're going to make some foods. They're going to maybe draw some cards, but it means they have to be attacking me. And this turn I get to go Snapper plus Halberd. And then I can play Tree Folk the following turn. Well, that plan is gone. We're going to get rid of Forest and Halberd. Nice. I suck. Why would I do that, you might ask? Oh, no reason. Just completely garbage play right there. Could have hit him for an extra 2. Please don't have a kill spell. This guy's deck is all over the place. I'm not gonna lie. Not sure if it's good. Like, he has a bunch of early green cards, and then... Man. If I draw out muscle here, it's going to be so good. Like, I might just win on the spot if I draw out muscle. I do win on the spot if I draw out muscle and he doesn't play around it. No, I'm not quite there. I'm at 1 point off. Okay, if he attacks me and I draw out muscle, he's in real bad shape. Come on, out muscle. My opponent just accepts it. They must have something. Or they're counting on their food to save them. You've bested my giant, which means you must be exceptionally strong. So you might be counting on your strength to save you. But you also bested my Spaniard, which means you must have studied. And in studying, you would have learned that man is mortal, so I can clearly not choose the wine in front of me. In front of you? Oh, I don't know. Yeah. I spent a while memorizing that the other day. We just have to rip out muscle off the top, and we'll get it. Turning the elemental cat green because we need the out muscle. Did my opponent not think I was going to block? Okay. All right. Okay. It won't die if I re-equip it, so we'll re-equip it here. My kingdom for an out muscle. These blocks make a lot more sense to me than the other blocks. Because then I have 2 lethal threats, which makes out muscle a way better draw. I guess I can't really cast out muscle. But now he has to have like 2 removal spells. Boom! That is what I'm talking about. You make the blocks they don't expect, you get the W. Oh my gosh, because he might have 1 chump blocker, but he's not going to have 2. Whew! That is adrenaline. That is the 5-0 undefeated record in Throne of Eldraine draft. You saw it all here. I'm glad I didn't stop halfway through. But that is going to do it for this draft video. If you did make it all the way till the end of the video, be sure to smash, I don't usually say smash, that thumbs up button. Hit the like button. It really does help me out a ton. If the video gets to 50 thumbs up, I will post another draft, not another necessarily draft because I don't have as many drafts. I will post another Throne of Eldraine video tomorrow, so be sure to hit that thumbs up button if you want more content and also to support my channel. If you would like to join our community here on YouTube, subscribe. It's really awesome. You get to partake in polls in their community tab. You get to just, be a part of our community, and I really appreciate everyone that subscribes. Click the bell so you don't miss future videos. And if you did make it all the way till the end of the video, in the comment section down below, type down mono green swag, or mono green is sick, or mono green is awesome, or hashtag mono green is, and then whatever word you want to describe how awesome that was, or just hashtag pig power or something like that. Something to let me know you made it all the way to the end of the video. I recommend hashtag mono green power because that was super awesome. We played some really cool matches. Remember to hit the thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section down below, and if you would like to give back to the channel, you can do so by in several ways. One of them is just by doing all those things I previously mentioned. Another is by buying cards via my affiliate link, which you can find in the description down below. It'll take you to TCG Player, and I get some of the proceeds when you do buy from that link. I use TCG Player myself, so I do recommend using that link. And if you want to give back to the channel directly, get access to bonus content, and I think I'm going to be making a full tier list for Throne of Eldraine. I've already started it and posting that to my Patreon, patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. It really does help me out a ton. Or you can subscribe on Twitch. If you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free, so that's something to look into as well. One of the rewards for patrons at the $10 per month level is being put into the credits of all my draft videos, so thank you so much to all of those patrons, and thank you so much to all of my other patrons as well. I really do appreciate your support. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hashtag mono green power, and I'll talk to you next time.